Good evening, LTL Nation. Happy Easter to everyone celebrating, and welcome back to the 7-Minute Breakthrough Revolution. Tonight we're talking about compassion, or maybe safe to say, what is left of it in this world. If you try to Google the term compassion, look it up in a dictionary, you will circle around one idea. You will be circling around one idea, which is, it is an act of caring. And by act, I do not mean act like you care or act as if you care. No, I mean act because you care. And by act, I do not mean pretend like you care. I mean take positive, effective actions that make positive change in the world. If it's small or big, that's the kind of action that I'm talking about. My name is Faisal Zeineddine, and tonight on Life Talks Live, we are going to talk about why compassion has been on a downward hill for a long time and what we can do to try and push it back up. Have you recently or any time in the past tried to get your head out of your phone and looked around and saw what's happening around you in the world? If you actually did, you would have noticed that the world is actually burning itself into flames. Humanity is burning up and we're not doing anything. We're lost in the technology that we have. It's crazy, it's insane what we've reached. We're not doing anything out there. We're all self-concerned about what we're doing, about how our own small, tiny lives are going. And that's about it. Tell me about a single place in the world that is considered to be a safe place right now. That's a safe place today, where there's no wars, where there's nothing. Tell me about a place in the world where they do not ask you about your religion, your nationality, your race, your color, your ethnicity. Tell me about a place that only cares about your humanity and that does not differentiate between anyone that's out there. Tell me, point me in that direction, because I don't see it, and I don't see anyone doing anything about it. Do we not care anymore? What is the reason that has made us so lazy, careless, that we lost the sense of humanity in us, and we don't really truly care? Why? What's the reason? I'm going to tell you why. You see, recent studies have showed that by the time a kid is 11 years old today, they are subjected to over 8,000 simulated murders on television. By the time they're 11. Wow. You know what that does to the mind? Now seeing murders, brutal murders, massacres, whatever happens, people don't care because it's normal. These kids have seen it, have seen way worse. You know, in my time when I was a kid, the hardest game we played, the most weirdest game we played was maybe Super Mario. Today, kids who are 5 years old are playing combat games that are just brutal. Blood's everywhere, bloodshed going all around, and nobody notices what this does to the mind. You're raising a generation that is actually used to having all these murders in front of their eyes, that they actually look at it and turn around. Even us grown-ups today, we're scribbling down Facebook and we're looking at different stuff, and suddenly we see a massacre that's happened in Syria a few days ago. Hundreds of kids have been killed. And all of a sudden, we're done with this post, we scroll a bit down and there's a joke. And 5 minutes later, we forgot everything. And we continue being dumbed down by this technology that's within our hands. Dumbed down and like completely oblivious of what's happening out there, because in our own little bubbles, we're okay. And compassion gets lost along the way, totally lost. We end up not doing anything about it because in this small bubble that they keep us in this entertainment that we're so fine having, everything out there that does not concern us directly is no longer a concern. I remember a time back in the day when people heard of some massacre that happens, everyone would be there. Everyone would be trying to help in any way possible. Now we see so much worse that's happening out there and no one sheds an eye. No one blinks or tries to help. Where is our compassion? Where is it? What's happening to it? And what can we do to try and bring it back? Now we can blame the world. We can blame the economy. We can blame all the different stuff that are happening out there. Because it's really hard. The world that has been placed, that we've been placed into is really hard. Survival is hard. You gotta work, you gotta make money, you gotta be the strong person. And if you are compassionate, you're automatically considered weak by everyone. You know, there's a saying back in Lebanon which drives me crazy. It's a saying that it's in Arabic, is Ya haram shu mnih, ya haram shu adam. You know what that means? Poor person, he's such a good person. What the hell, guys? I mean, are we crazy enough to even think in that sense? Haram shu adam. Are you kidding, guys? Is it poor for us to actually be good people now? To actually care? To actually go ahead and do something and help people out? Is that a weakness? Because I find it the hardest thing to do these days. I find it so hard. And that's why we try to move away from it. We're scared of it because it's harder than us. It's harder than our capabilities these days. We're scared of losing personally while we try to affect good change. It's crazy. So what do we do about it? I said we can either blame something that's bigger than us, but if we blame the economy, if we blame politics, if we blame the whole entire system, then automatically we are destined for doom. Because by then, our minds are considering that we cannot do anything. We cannot implement any change, and that's it. That's it. We are heading towards extinction. Compassion is endangered if we think in that sense. So there's only one thing we can do. We can go back into our own minds and see what we can do there. How can we implement change in ourselves? And that happens in everything that you subject yourselves to, your own minds to. The things you read, the things you decide to see and witness, and what we actually raise our kids on. You see, bullying is happening in schools every day. And I find that there's a lot of people trying to work towards erasing that, and they're starting with edutaining and educating kids in the proper sense. And we have to do that on a whole entire scale, but we have to notice, we have to take a step back from the technologies that's in our hands, that's actually dumbing us down and changing us from actual people who care with emotions into robots that are just mechanical beings out there trying to make a living and forgetting everything that makes us human. We have to take a step back from this technology and use technology in the right manner to implement effective change. That is where we start. And if we don't do that, if we decide that we are fine in our own bubble and that we are okay today, you are going to be okay until one day you're not. And that's when it's going to hit you hard, and you're going to find out that the rest of the world does not care. As simple as that. So tonight, this moment, you decide, I make a change right now. And I start paying it forward and telling everyone to put their heads up. Try to see what's going around. Try to reach back into that compassion and go out and help someone. Help anyone. And I dare you, I double dare you to go out there, help someone today, and come back to me and tell me that this wasn't the best thing, the best feeling you ever had in your life. Because I will assure you that the moment you help someone, you are going to feel like something you've never even felt before, because we haven't done this in such a long time. We haven't taken time to help people. We've disconnected from humanity, and so I dare you, I double dare you, and I ask for your feedback. Come back and tell me how it felt. Please. Tell me how compassion felt, because I assure you, you have been disconnected from it from a very long time. We have closed these circles on ourselves. Compassion now is in such small circles, small families, inner circles, and we've lost touch with humanity. So I dare you, try to get in touch with people you don't know, with different race. Don't even ask about the labels. Go out there and try to help people. Slowly, we got to restructure ourselves. It's a long process, but if we don't start somewhere, we're destined for doom. We don't even care about our planet anymore. Global warming is everywhere, and compassion to Earth does not even exist. I'm asking you to have compassion to your fellow human beings. Start somewhere, guys. Thank you very much. This has been my talk for tonight. Tune in with Shadon tomorrow and the rest of the coaches during the week. I will see you next week. Have a very blessed Easter again to everyone celebrating, and a very blessed night to everyone out there. Over and out, LTL Nation.